afternoon everyone, welcome to a brand new video. Ignore if my voice sounds a little bit funny, I'm just recovering from a bit of a cold. But I thought I would start this video here quickly because I'm in the middle of doing a job which I thought I would take you along with me while I do it. I'm out of breath. Which is basically hoovering, cleaning, wiping down all of the kitchen cupboards, getting ready to basically start like putting stuff away in the kitchen. So this is how the kitchen is currently looking. We've got lots of bits on the side here which at the moment is all, this is like clean stuff that we're sort of using on a daily basis, and then we're just refilling this bowl with like our dirty stuff, taking it upstairs, washing it upstairs, because we still don't have a working sink or tap down here. Ignore all of the bits everywhere. We've got lots of food bits on the side here. I've got bags down here of the shopping that I've just done, so I've left all of like the tins and just cupboard bits so that I can basically put all of this away properly once I have cleaned in all of the cupboards. So yeah, you'll have seen in our last video of the whole like kitchen process. This is where we're up to. The worktops are actually getting fitted tomorrow, which is very exciting. So the worktops will be on tomorrow, and then our kitchen fitter is coming back and he's going to connect up our tap and the dishwasher. So from Friday we should be like good to go with the kitchen, and it'll obviously just be a case of us getting everything put away, organised, sorted, things like that. So yeah, that is how it's currently looking. So I'm just cleaning inside each cupboard. Louis actually went round, I think, most of the kitchen a few days ago and hoovered like inside all of the drawers and the cupboards and stuff like that. So it is mainly just like wiping them all down, and then I'll probably have a little bit of a think about where I want to put things before I just start filling cupboards, because I feel like it has to be a well thought out process when it comes to a kitchen. So yeah, that is what I am currently doing. I'm gonna continue before I lose motivation because I feel like I'm just exhausted on an afternoon. But yeah, I'm hoping we can sort of put this room back together a little bit. We've currently got a toilet and a sink just in the middle of this room, which will be going upstairs in our, like in the main bathroom. The bathroom is something that we are not going to be able to properly get done for a very long time, and one of Louis' friends, who is a plumber, had taken these out of somebody's bathroom and they're pretty much like brand new, absolutely fine, a lot better than what we've got. So he's going to fit them at some point for us in the bathroom just to see us through for the next few years. Our dining table is still over here absolutely pitted with dust, so I need to like clean all of this, wipe down the chairs, wipe down the table, and then hopefully, yeah, we can just get everything sort of moved back to where it's supposed to be. We also should hopefully be picking up a sofa for this space here. So if you've watched any of our previous videos before we started doing the kitchen, we've got two sort of like little accent armchairs that go here, and then a sofa goes there eventually. This wall will all be built out, we'll have a fireplace, and this will be sort of like a media wall with fireplace, TV, shelves either side. That'll be like the sort of feature wall, and this will be the cosy little living area. So up until recently we actually had our love seat here. I'll show you what I mean. So ignore the fact that this is covered with all of our coats because we've had the downstairs cupboard plastered, but we had this little love seat in this area of the kitchen, which obviously has now moved into the living room where it belongs. So essentially when we move the dining table back into its place, which is sort of here, this bit here will all be empty. We've got the two chairs, but we don't have anything to put there, and I just feel like this space can't be used as it was always intended to be used, as a living area without a sofa there, and the two chairs opposite just look really odd and you would sort of never sit there. And it's going to be a really long time until we can get a brand new sofa for this space here. It's like definitely not a top priority job, but I don't want to wait years to actually use this space, because obviously now we've got our kitchen, this room. I want to start using it as like a sociable room, you know, having like people around if we have Christmases or birthday parties or anything like that. This area is what should be used, and that's what it was designed for. So we've basically found a sofa just off Facebook Marketplace. It's £50, it's close to us. This is the size of it, this tape measure here. So we probably could have fit a slightly bigger one in, but I think this size will be fine, it'll do the job. And as far as sofas go off Facebook Marketplace, this one seems like quite decent. She's selling it for £50, which isn't bad at all. Some of them are being sold for like sort of hundreds, and I wouldn't pay that for a second-hand sofa off Facebook Marketplace unless it was quite a decent one, because I feel like people are quite often just trying to get rid of like old sofas that are a little bit like shabby and dirty and stuff. But this one looks fine. It's like a sort of beige creamy colour, which is originally the colour that I wanted to go for this sofa, because our accent chairs are like a brown leather. I was just going to go for a sort of light beige sofa. However, obviously our kitchen is like a stone colour. The walls are going to be just a neutral beige colour, and I just think a beige sofa might all just be too much beige. So then I was thinking like a nice dark green sofa would be really nice. It would contrast nicely with the brown accent chairs. So I think the plan is for us to hopefully get this sofa at the weekend. Louis going to see if he can hire a van for the weekend. After work tonight, he's going to go and ask about that. And then, yeah, hopefully we'll have that sofa, and I'm just going to buy some blankets and like sort of completely cover the sofa with blankets. So yeah, anyway, that is the plan with that sofa. I'll keep you updated with what happens with that, but I'm going to carry on cleaning inside all of these cupboards.
Whispers in my head, what you gonna do? So take it, kid, away. 왠지가 내려해 쉽지 않아도 진실한 나만의 beliefs. You know what they say, don't brag about what you have. Be careful and be humble, otherwise you should be ready to stumble. You know what they say, 자신감이 없니? 왜 당당하게 살지를 못해? Keep walking your way, don't look back. 너만의 길이야. Even when you fall, don't look back.
Right, so I got some new like pans, like pots and pans from Asda. So I'm sure these were meant to be, I think it said £68 and they were down to 35. To be honest, we've had our pans, like our current pans, since we bought our first house, which will be 4 years ago, nearly 5 years ago maybe. So they are a little bit knackered, but we have, sorry about Nelson, we have an induction hob now, and I'm pretty sure the pans that we have, they're just very like basic ones from Asda again, so I don't think they would have worked with our induction hob. So I thought I would get these ones, considering they were down, like reduced in price anyway. And you get 5 pans, including a free frying pan, I think. I'm not sure, let's have a look what we've got. So The reviews for these as well, I didn't actually click on and sort of read the reviews, I don't think, but there was, I think there was about was it 50 or was there 500? There was a lot of reviews and they were all, it was like nearly 5 stars. So I'm assuming that they're good. So I don't know how well you can see it. It's gone really, really dark and it's absolutely pouring down outside. But yeah, they've got like a little speckle on them, which is quite cute. So that's the little pan. And then we have got a slightly bigger one, like that. And then bigger version. These actually stack quite nicely as well to go in the drawer, because the ones that we have currently got don't sit in each other like that, so they all sort of like bunch up. So that's one, so I think it must be 2 frying pans. Yeah, so it's the three pans and the big frying pan, I think, and then you get a free smaller frying pan. So that's the smaller one, and then we've got a slightly bigger one. But yeah, I can't wait to use these. I never thought I'd get excited over new pans, but here we are. I've been trying to like strategically think about where I'm putting things in these cupboards. So far we have got, so I'm a little bit unsure about mugs and the kettle. I did originally think, so well into the future, we want a boiling water tap. That was always the plan, and we've sort of like designed this bit of the kitchen so that the little like boiler thing that comes with a hot water tap can go in this little cupboard here, but it just wasn't a sort of justifiable purchase at the moment. So we have just got a normal tap, and we will obviously just have a kettle on the side. So I wasn't sure whether to put the kettle over this side so that I could maybe sort of tuck it into this corner a little bit, but it will still need to be plugged in here, so then I'm just going to have a cable like running, which isn't going to look great. And I don't know whether I'm just being a bit like ridiculous, but the sink's all the way over there, so then do I put the kettle like right in this corner when obviously you go to the sink to fill the kettle up like every day? So then I'm thinking obviously over this side maybe makes more sense, and I can just have the kettle there, have it plugged in, and then ideally I want the mugs close by. However, this cupboard here is obviously one of our glass cupboards, which really is meant just for show. The things that'll be in these glass cupboards, as you can see from my example, I don't know whether you can see very well, but I've just put some mugs stacked up there. But yeah, ideally I want to sort of have these glass cupboards as more like display cupboards that look nice. I don't just want all of our like mismatched mugs shoved in there. So then I'm thinking this one under here probably makes the most sense. So I've always had mugs like up in a wall cupboard rather than like down there, but I don't really think it matters that much. So obviously a lot of our stuff at the moment is in the utility. Things all need washing before I put everything away, because a lot of things are covered in dust. These are just the mugs that we've been using sort of like on rotation for the past few days. So I've got a couple of mugs in there for now, and then some biscuits. I'm thinking maybe it's like biscuits, sweet treats sort of shelf. Not sure about this one yet. This is one of the corner ones. We've got 2 of these pull out things, and then again not sure about these ones, these drawers. So we've got these sort of cutlery trays. We've got one for this drawer and one for this drawer behind me. So sorry about the washing machine. I've done this one for cutlery, at the moment. I might obviously change this. I've just tried to like do the best that I can. And then I've actually got this drawer at the moment as plates and bowls, because again I feel like they would either have to go in just like a cupboard like this, or maybe it's one of these top cupboards for the plates. But I just feel like this is a really good way to sort of see everything and just like really easily grab a plate. So yeah, I'm quite liking this little setup at the moment. And then I'm thinking over this side, obviously this will be our hob here, so not sure about this drawer, potentially like sort of, I don't know, maybe it's more wooden spoons and spatulas and things that you would use to cook with. And then probably pots and pans in this drawer. Let me go and get them actually. I feel like we've got so much space, but then I also feel like when you've got a lot of space you just fill it, don't you? So it probably won't take us that long to fill every single inch of space in this kitchen. We just haven't been used to it. Like even just these pans and the lids, like we've still got plenty of space. And then in this bottom one I've just put a couple of our oven trays, and we also have like our, you know, like baking dishes and things like that. We've got a lot of bits in these drawers, so they're our original pans. We have all of our like plastic containers, stuff like that, chopping boards. I don't know where our other drawer is actually. We've got another drawer, it must be in here. Yeah, we've got a drawer over here which has some of our other pans, like there's a cheese grater there, and then here we've got some more like oven trays, oven dishes, things like that, so they can go in one of the drawers. But yeah, I'm just going to continue to have a sort out in the kitchen. I need to paint this mantle at some point. I need to like sort of miscoat it first just with white, but the worktop people are coming tomorrow, so I think I might just leave it. I don't think I've got the energy to start painting today. It's probably, I don't know, it's about 3 o'clock. Yeah, it's like 3:15, so I don't think I'll get the paints out today. Good morning everyone. It's a good few days since I last picked you up. I can't actually remember when I last spoke to you. Let me turn around. Yeah, we've been doing lots of like just sorting out, tidying, cleaning, organising the kitchen. So I think we've pretty much got most of our things like in the places. I think I might have another box still in that room that I need to like empty into the kitchen, but yeah, I think like we're definitely getting there with all of our bits and bobs. So yeah, that's where we're at with the kitchen. This room in here, which you will probably recognise as what was our living room, this is where lots of things were just like stored and stuff, while we obviously had to empty this room for the kitchen to be done. So Louis has actually, he is currently at the tip now. What we've done is we've hired a van. We've done this a couple of times. Yeah, we've just hired a van and used it to obviously just sort of like get rid of everything all like in one big go, instead of Louis filling his car up. I thought that was him. Yeah, because Louis' car is just destroyed because he uses it for whatever it needs using for. But we've actually got the van because we are picking up a sofa this afternoon from Facebook Marketplace. Yeah, it was gonna be a really long time until we could afford to get a brand new sofa. So Facebook Marketplace it is. What I'm planning on doing, I'll show you the sofa obviously when it gets here, but what I'm planning on doing is just completely covering it with blankets. I'm gonna have a trip to B&M at some point. I was considering going today, but I'm waiting for a couple of deliveries and stuff. So yeah, I'm just gonna get some big like throw blankets, cover the whole sofa. It's just sort of like a beige, creamy neutral colour. I haven't seen it in person, but it's not a bad colour, but I just think I'll be able to sort of match it in with our colour scheme and stuff if I just stick some blankets on it. And then we will have something to sit on in the 2 accent chairs opposite, possibly a coffee table or a footstool maybe we might be able to get at some point. So yeah, there's all sorts happening. I've ordered the paint for this room, which is that colour on the wall over there. I'll show you close up later on, but it's just a very light neutral colour. I wanted it similar to the kitchen but not quite as dark as the kitchen, so I'm hoping when it gets here, obviously I did plenty of testers, but it looks different on every wall, and I think because this is such a big room with lots of different angles, different walls, obviously we've got like the Velux windows, we've got the bifold, it's a very light room, which is good, but yeah, it just looked sort of different on each wall. But I like the colour of it, and I've bought so many testers that I just needed to make a decision basically. So hopefully that paint, I think, might be here tomorrow. We do have a decorator nipping around on Wednesday, I think, to give us a price. He is not a, well, he isn't a decorator. He just does it sort of as well as his part-time job, I think. So his prices are much more reasonable than like a proper decorator, but I keep going backwards and forwards because we can't really justify paying for someone to decorate when we can do it ourselves. But when I say we, Louis isn't much of a decorator, so it falls on me. It's just such a big room. But what I'm thinking I might do is we might get a price for him to do the ceiling, because I feel like it's the ceiling that's the worst job really, and the worst part of painting. I don't mind so much just working my way around the walls and doing like a few walls at a time. There's no rush for us to get this room painted, but I do want it painted. So yeah, I think we might do that, see how much he would charge for doing the ceiling, and then that I feel like that's fine. I'll do the walls just as and when. I'm gonna have a clean and tidy, empty any like last boxes that are laying around and anything that needs doing. Hoover the floor, potentially wash the floor. I think I'll wash over like this side of the room, obviously where the sofa's going and stuff, just so that I know that that is all nice and clean. We also have a pile of coats here in the living room which need to go back in this downstairs cupboard. I've been painting that cupboard, which is now painted, dry, ready to go. So these can finally be moved from our sofa. I will show you the sofa when that gets here. Okay, so it's now much later in the evening. Sorry about the ridiculously orange light, but this light above our dining table needs new bulbs. They're very, very warm. But I've had quite a busy afternoon actually, so I ended up nipping to B&M because I wanted to get some like throw blankets for the new sofa, which is here. I'll show you that in a minute. So yeah, I nipped to B&M to get some blankets, but they didn't really have exactly what I wanted. So I picked up 2 like green blankets. I wanted to go for green just because the kitchen is like a neutral colour. The walls are going to be quite a similar colour to the kitchen. The floor's like quite a light natural colour. So if you can hear banging, it's a bonfire night. But yeah, the sofa that we've picked up is like a beige colour, and I just feel like it's all too much beige. So yeah, in my head I had sort of like a dark green like idea. I mean, ideally in the future when we get a new sofa, I might go for an actual like green sofa, but for now obviously throws will do the job. So yeah, I picked up 2 throws which were okay, but I knew when I was buying them that it wasn't exactly what I wanted. And there was another 2 blankets, no, there was another blanket next to the green ones that was a slightly different green, but I was on my own, I couldn't decide, so I just got the ones that were bigger size. So yeah, picked those up. B&M was absolutely heaving at like, I don't even know what time it was, probably 3:30 on a Sunday. And I thought, oh, it might be quite quiet, it shuts at like 4:30, but no, it was really busy. So then Louis had to drop the van back off, so he needed picking up from the van place. So picked him up, and I was in the area of like Dunelm, The Range, B&M, all of those sorts of shops. So I showed Louis the blankets, and then we went around some of those shops. We went to Dunelm, we nipped into Asda, and then we went into The Range and then back into B&M, and nowhere really had exactly what I wanted. So what I ended up doing was just swapping the original green blankets that I got for the other colour green, and I think I'm just going to go with that. So this is how the sofa area is currently looking. So this is the little sofa. So this is what I mean by, this definitely could have been a little bit bigger to just fill this space a little bit more, but obviously it was just Facebook Marketplace, 50 quid, like just round the corner, not too far away. So I just sort of went for this one. I know there's always sort of more on Facebook Marketplace, but I feel like it's difficult because all the ones that I was seeing were either really big, like I don't really want this to go right up to the end, because then we won't have that much of a gap between this column and the sofa, and I don't want to sort of block this off too much. I still want it to be quite an open space. Eventually as well, we plan on building this wall forward so it meets this column here. So this side will be brought forward, so this probably will be pushed over a little bit. So yeah, when I say it could be bigger, it literally could have been maybe like 10-20 centimeters bigger ideally, but I just feel like I'm being picky. So let me see if I can show you the colour. I don't feel like it's going to come across very well on camera because of all of the different lights. I'll show you another time when I've taken the blankets and everything off. But yeah, I've just covered it over with the sort of like green blankets. I've just got a little throw over the side here because the blanket doesn't actually fully cover the side of the sofa, which is kind of what I wanted it to do. And then I've just brought some cushions down from upstairs, which were on our day bed in the spare bedroom. I will show you this in the daylight tomorrow as well, because I feel like everything's just a little bit washed out in this light. But yeah, this is our little like living area, and then we've got our little accent chairs there. So we're just currently debating on what to do with this wall, because as much as obviously we would like to do it, I know I say this a lot, but this renovation for us is very much about prioritising, and sort of doing something with this wall is not really top priority. And we've gone backwards and forwards with ideas. Eventually we will have a log burner right in the middle of this wall. This will all be built forward, so it'll be like a proper built-in media wall with a log burner, TV above it, and then probably like cupboards either side, and then some shelving. That's sort of like the ultimate goal for this wall. And it was always going to be a real log burner in the middle here. That has been like my dream since before the extension was built. I had a real issue with this column with the builders because I knew that I wanted a log burner there, but there was nothing we could do about this column. It is structural, it is holding up this beam above, which is just unfortunate because obviously it's right like smack bang in the middle of the room, which is where the log burner would need to be. So basically, to cut a long story short, we have now possibly changed our mind and might just go for a electric log burner instead of a real one. So we would probably just use this one from here. So this is our electric log burner, which is like an Optimist one. So it has an actual, it gives off like a a mist basically, which looks very realistic. It does look like a proper flame. And the good thing with this is that you can have like the look of a fire on without obviously actually burning wood, even though burning wood and having the smells and like the whole like atmosphere sort of thing of a log burner, that is why I want a log burner. However, if we have kids soon, which hopefully we will, I just feel like it's not very practical. Obviously it's also, you know, you have to buy the wood, and this fire is much more like you can have this on all day long if you wanted, and it's not actually giving off any heat. It does have the option to give off heat if you want it to, but yeah, what we're considering doing is actually moving this eventually, not anytime soon, but moving this into that back room and putting a real log burner in this room, because this is a real chimney breast. So it'll be a lot cheaper and a lot easier for us to just get a flue put back into this chimney breast, have a real log burner in here, have this room as the sort of cosy living room. We probably wouldn't use a real log burner every single day, but it would be something that we would put on in like the evenings and stuff, and then have this electric one in this back room, because it just means that obviously we don't have to pay for a flue to be like installed on this wall, which will be very expensive. Plus obviously when you've got a real log burner, there's lots of like regulations that come with it. So if we wanted a real log burner here and then to build a media wall, the media wall has to be built out of like metal, I think, or sort of steel. Whereas obviously if we just put an electric log burner in, Louis can just build a false chimney breast wall out of wood and plasterboard, which will save, it'll probably save us thousands in the long run, not buying a real log burner, getting it installed, building the whole media wall out of metal, etc, etc. So yeah, that's what we're considering doing. So Louis might build this chimney breast here at some point in the near future. We've got some plasterboard upstairs, so we would literally just have to buy the wood, put the plasterboard on, get it plastered. Obviously we wouldn't move that log burner from the living room yet, because we're not in a position to buy a real log burner fit in there. So we're going to have 2 fireplaces and only 1 log burner, but it just means that we can then sort of put the TV on the wall. We could just put some candles in like the opening for the log burner for now. Yeah, that's sort of our thought process at the moment, but I will obviously keep you updated with that. But yeah, for now this is our cosy little living area. Hopefully we'll get a footstool, I'm thinking, here, which will just be nice when you sat down. If you do want to put your feet up, we can also put a tray on it, use it as a coffee table, and we could use it as an extra seat if there's like lots of people round. But yeah, that's the plan. I'm just currently cooking some tea in our lovely new kitchen. I've got lots of goodies here that I might make a hot chocolate and just have some sweet treats later on tonight. But yeah, everything is looking really cozy. So I said I would show you this in like proper daylight, so that is what I am doing now. Ignore the cushions on here. I feel like I'm just sort of playing around with some cushions that we already had upstairs on the day bed, but I'm not sure on these ones. I feel like they're a bit of a weird colour, and then I've just grabbed this one from upstairs. But yeah, just ignore that. But I thought I would just, yeah, give you a quick look at how this actually looks in the daylight. You can see the blankets. I don't know if I mentioned in the previous clips that these aren't really the exact type of blanket that I wanted to go for, but I was just struggling to sort of find exactly what I wanted. So I feel like this comes across a little bit grey in some lights, and it is definitely green. It's like a very dark sort of greeny grey colour, which I do like, but I don't want it to come across at grey. Louis tried to convince me that it doesn't look grey, and it definitely looks green, but I think he's just saying that because he knows what I'm like, and he knows that if he says yeah, it looks grey, then I'll have to like return them and get new ones. So this is how it's looking. Let me just, I'll pop one of these covers off just to actually show you what the sofa's like underneath, because it's not bad at all. Like I've mentioned, for a sort of Facebook Marketplace sofa, it's really nothing bad, and I might even consider not having the blankets fully covering it. I want to wait until I've painted this wall, because the wall will be this colour. So yeah, I don't want it to look too beige, but the actual sofa itself really isn't bad at all, and I think it looks nice with the sort of brown accent chairs. So I might just sort of drape these blankets over the sofa and just have the sofa as it is. It's not dirty or anything like that. So yeah, this is our sofa situation. I have actually, hi Nelson, say hello. Say hello to everyone. I have actually painted this wall, which you really probably won't be able to tell. Let me just open these blinds because it's very dark in here this morning. That hasn't really helped at all. Yeah, I have painted this wall here. You'll be able to see better actually if I show you over this side, because I've also painted this little bit. So you can probably see here, obviously above and below, this bottom bit is painted just so that it's ready for the radiators to go on. We're hoping one of Louis' friends, like plumber friends, will just nip around one night when he's got a little bit of like free time. So I just wanted to make sure that behind the radiators it had a couple of coats of paint. Sorry, Nelson's just having a drink. So that's why only half of this wall is done. We are getting the ceiling painted. A decorator's coming to do the ceiling because I just couldn't face doing it myself, but I am going to do the walls. So yeah, I've done this wall over here, which looks very, very, it is a very light colour, and I think a lot of people can't actually tell that it's been painted, but I think once like the skirting board is on and that's white, it is just a nice light neutral colour, and I've said it loads of times, but I wanted it to be lighter than the kitchen, so that is good. You can see it on here. It definitely isn't white, but it's just a very light beige creamy colour. So yeah, that is the update with the paint. I probably won't be doing much painting over the next couple of weeks. We've got lots of plans over the next few weekends, so I'm just gonna paint the walls in here literally as and when. I'll just do bits here and there when I've got sort of like spare time, but it's really not a job that is like high priority. It's not that important. I'll just, yeah, do them when I feel like it or when I've got some time. So yeah, I just wanted to show you that sofa in the daylight anyways, because I said that I would. But other than that, nothing else has really changed in this area. We're just absolutely loving the kitchen, cooking, and just feeling like we're living a little bit more of a normal life now. And yeah, it's just lovely. So yeah, I'm gonna finish this video here anyways, and yeah, I hope you've enjoyed, and I will see you all very soon.